welcome to Synthador's first exciting Ableton production session. I'm recording this and narrating as I go. Hopefully it'll work. So I'm going to try to build a track using Ableton Live 11 very quickly and try to make it fun to watch as I do. Okay, let's start with some percussion. I am a fan of the Lindrum Core Kit in Ableton, so I'll throw that onto a MIDI track. Open up the MIDI clip. Press B to get the pencil and draw in some 4 on the floor kick drum hits and snare, and then closed hi-hat on every beat, and then 4 toms at the end, and we'll see how that sounds. Don't know how we got to 75 BPM, so I'll up that. Pretty good. Okay, so that hi-hat is a little loud for me. So I'll go over to close right here and just simply drop the fader. We'll come back and do a lot more with these drums later in the mixing stage, but for now we'll just let that keep going. Okay, so let's get an instrument going. How about a bass line? So instrument, I like analog. Throw that onto a MIDI channel, and I am effing Mozart. That's just incredible. There's my majestic, amazing composition, the note C. So we'll switch over here to analog the instrument, but we're going to get some more interesting notes going with my favorite MIDI effects track. So here we have pitch. I can easily drop it an octave. Here I'm going down 12 semitones. Can turn it into a chord. Make this a C minor chord. As you can see, we already have an arpeggiator running. Turn it off. You get a chord, turn it back on. This sounds good, but I like a more interesting pattern. And let's get it going at 16th notes. Each note lasts a little longer. Now, pressing Shift Tab takes me back to the MIDI clip, which is good. Shift Tab back to the effects track, and now we have the actual instrument. So dropping the filter frequency here, increase the resonance. We're in the filter section of the analog instrument. Increase the filter amount. Filter envelope, I want it linear. Now let's move turn on LFO1 and let LFO1 move the filter frequency a little bit. Okay. Since we have, what if we take out that octave in the arpeggiator? I like that. Now we're just dealing with 3 notes. That's good. And then, since we have a 4 on the floor, I can cheat and use one knob pumper, which is a good, very simple Waves plugin. They have a series of one knob. This means you'll still hear the pump if I turn the kick off. If I did a real side chain, that would be more versatile because I could mute the kick or take it out in certain sections and it wouldn't pump anymore. But we're going fast, so we're going to go ahead and just use one knob pumper. It would be nice if I could have different notes. So I'm going to rename this C. Then I'm going to highlight it and hit Command D to duplicate it. Then I'm going to hit Command R to rename it. I'm going to call this D. Now I'm going to go into the MIDI clip by double clicking it and move the note up to D. So now we have the same thing going on. The note D, and now I'm going to go back here, select it again, duplicate it, rename it F, and go in, find the note F, do this again, duplicate, and rename G and do one. This time I'll just do it by hand. A, rename A, cool. Now stop the audio for a minute, and I'm going to do a little bit of a pro gamer move, is duplicate this whole track, duplicate, good. Now I'm going to go into the original one, Shift Tab, and actually take out the effect and the instrument. And then I'm going to go over here, select all the MIDI clips, delete, but have MIDI come in to MIDI. So why am I doing this? So that I can have these notes control lots of different instruments, this being just the first one. So actually I do need to go in the original because every track's going to have its own MIDI effects rack, and I'm going to take out the whole MIDI effects rack. So there we go. Make sure audio monitoring for this track is on. This track has MIDI effects rack. It has my analog synth with the sound I created, and it should work. Yeah, it's working. It's working. So we go over here. Gonna change the sound a little bit. Give it a square wave sub oscillator. Give it a little more filter envelope action. Okay, so I want the chords to change, but I don't want to have to do it myself. So I'm going to use a good feature of Live 11, which is greatly enhanced clip triggering conditions. Follow actions, they're called. So I'm going to have on this side any, so it can play the same one again, or it can play none. Or over here, play again. I'll drag this. And then I'm also going to create one more MIDI clip. Oh, I didn't want to duplicate all. Create one that has no notes. And give this one other. I never want it to go. So this is 100% other. So when it lands on the empty one, it'll only go for one measure. Now I have to play again for the follow conditions to start working. C is playing over no. Okay, now it's switching to D. Now it's switching to F. Something I want to do in the MIDI effects rack over here. Right now it's filtering to a scale of D, but there we go. Now it's a scale of D sharp, also known as E minor, which is good for the minor chord based on C that we're playing. This should work as far as musical theory goes. I'm going to delete these audio tracks for now since I'm working in 720p for recording and streaming purposes. So I'm going to duplicate this analog track, but I'm going to turn off the arpeggiator. So now we're hearing a chord. Gonna take away that octave down. Now kind of work on a pad type sound. So here's the amp. Give it a more filter, slower envelope on the filter. Impact. Don't want it opening up the filter that much. If I make our key A flat, also known as G sharp. That's working better. Okay, so now we have a bass, a pad, and one more synth track. Duplicate, still based on analog, but bring the arpeggiator back in. Rate is going to be quarter notes. Can't really hear it, so I'm going to solo it. Why is it silent? Tell you what, I'm going to use a whole completely different sound. Instruments, analog, synth lead. Thumb up, down. Okay, now let's mess with the drums a little bit. I'm going to call this rename all. duplicate, duplicate. I'm gonna go in this one. Take out the kick. Delete. And rename it no kick. Go into this one. Take out the hat. Rename it no hat. Go into this one. Take out the tom. Actually, I'm gonna redo all this. I thought of something more cooler to do. I'm gonna work. First, I don't like that these velocities are all the same. So another new feature of Live 11, I can randomize the velocity, but I can also randomize the chance of hitting. So you'll each have a 17% chance of hitting. These toms will have a 24% chance of hitting. So that's cool. Now I can duplicate, 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 and each one will have one or two parts taken out. You gotta keep track. No hat. This one. No tom. And this one. I'll have another all, and now I'm going to select them all again and give them all 62% chance to play a different clip or pretty cool. I promised some drum mixing, so let's solo the drums. I'm gonna grab favorites, Valhalla Room on just the snare. That's good. Also, give it some compression before that reverb on just the snare. I want a thunderous 80s gated reverb snare. So I like this view. Compress the snare. Now I kind of like this effect change, so I'm going to control copy. Now I'm going to go over to these toms. I also like thundering Miami Vice style 80s synthwave toms. Good. This one needs a little less reverb. I think that's good. Now, start throwing some retro color on my. We'll rename this bass. Rename this pad, and rename about to start freezing tracks. So come over here, my pad. There's a couple interesting ones, presets made especially for pads. Pad magic, how about that? Can't really hear what's going on, so figured out why soloing isn't working. It turns off the MIDI. That's good. No more boring pads. Retro color on the lead. I put it there, it'll automatically jump to the end. About vital preset, noise down. There we go. I gotta start EQing these tracks. EQ on the entire drum track. Low cut the bass bud. Dip there, that's good. Now the bass. EQ8 again. The interesting bass going on there, so boost there a little bit, dip there to leave room for the pad. Okay, I'm going to remove one knob pumper and do a real side chain. Compressor before the RC20. Open it up, turn on side chain. Input from Lindrum Core Kit. This kit has the bass drum. They don't call it kick, call it bass. And it's down below. So here it is. Bass drum pre-effects. There you can see that kick drum hitting. Ratio all the way up for side chain. Quick attack. Yeah, okay. See if I can. Yeah, I hear it. And now I can go back in this clip and actually have one. Pad's definitely going to need some EQ. No, it's already in pretty good shape. Actually, going to take out the EQ to save some CPU. I want the pad to pump, but not as much, so reduce that a little bit. And go over to the lead. Make sure the lead isn't creating any mud. That's fine. I'll leave it. Now, all is good. Now some effects. Over to the reverb track. Delete delete the Ableton stock reverb, put in my own Valhalla room, mix all the way up because it's a synth. LB426, Cathedral, how about? It's the tiniest touch on the drum kit, none on the bass, a lot on the pad. Leave the Ableton stock delay on Synth 2, a lot of delay on the pad. Okay, now get a little more a little better mix by taking all the faders down to 0, picking just one, and I like to final mix off the drums. Peak at around 12, a little higher. Okay, that's good. And the lead on top. More reverb and delay on the lead. Go over to the master track. Put an EQ8 on the master track. Good. I don't want anything here. That looks fine. Delete. Aha, now the secret ingredient. Retro color on the master track. Final 2. With no noise. A little bit of wobble. A little bit of space. Let's distort. Okay, give it a little vital noise. Okay, and stop, stop. Now look at this beautiful arrangement view that's totally blank. So we're going to go ahead and create a 1-minute track, good for exporting. So move the little loopies over there so I know where 1 minute is. Stop, and then I need to go back and make sure these tracks are all record enabled by holding Command click, record them all, because they aren't actually generating notes themselves. They're getting notes from track 2, which has no instrument. So here we go. Record. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. It's working. It's filling up. I don't like how it camped out on A for so long, but that's okay for now. Go over here and stop. Let that beautiful little delay tail and stop. Okay, and then this little button to back to arrangement view. So why do we have so many consecutive bars of A? I don't know. I don't care. This is where we will do the breakdown and then the drop. So take out the, oh, no. Undo. I'm only working with these 3 musical tracks. So I'm going to take out the bass and the pad and let the lead go by itself. Then we'll take out the lead and the pad and only hear the bass. And then the pad will come back, but then we'll lose the drums and the bass until we have everything. Okay, so then the last thing, I want a new audio track, Control T. This is where we'll throw in some risers. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just go into the sample menu and look for riser, white noise wave. Riser, white noise. Okay, start bringing these in. I need a little more of a build up, so I'm going to take the, how about take the bass and drums, so we'll start with just the pad. Then we have this first mini break, so duplicate this riser, pull it over here till we get the right there, and then duplicate. These are always way too loud. And then a dramatic riser at the end of the track, which is here. These are way too loud, so I'll just drop this a lot. Give the riser a ton of reverb and a little bit of delay. And now see how that sounds. Stop. I don't like how this changes. So duplicate. Copy. So C in there. Have it end with a C. Okay, there's a little 1-minute bit of kind of retro wavy, synth wavy, such as it is. Loop, file, export, wave, master track, export, untitled. We'll call this narrated project. Saving to desktop. Save. Rendering, because it's got 4 MIDI tracks with software instruments, so it's creating all of that audio with all the effects. It's pretty quick. Done. And now let's do what I always do. Ah. Safari, Lander, login, mastering, new, master, narrated project, choose for upload. Upload's pretty quick, and then go over to archive.org. Gloria incomplete. Oh, this looks interesting. And it's short. We're back. A watch pot never boils. Watching this download. It's almost done. Almost done. Okay, and got it. So what I want to do is take the music and put it on top of some random old-timey retro open source public domain video. So here's my video. I know my song is 1 minute long. Looks like this is a show. Dragging myself over to that side so I can actually see, take off the audio from this. It's a commercial, commercial, commercial. What if I started the video with announcement? Blade. Blade. Delete. Announcement. Now, I don't really like this grunty title, and we're over a minute. So drag it until it is 59 seconds. It's cool. I don't want to see announcement at the end. 59 seconds. Grab the mastered audio, narrated project. Definitely going to be too loud, so bring it down to 79. And now let's give it a watch. I don't want to see Evans Health Center, so I've got to zoom in even a little more. Come here. Pull that back. I just want to see announcement. Good. And then come over here. First of all, fade out the end of the audio. There. Yeah, let's give it a watch again. This commercial is way too long. So break, break, break. Now, break. Break, blade, blade. I'm just mixing it up so that we have typing commercial, game show, typing commercial, game show. A little more interesting. Blade. No. There. And now let's give it a watch. The W makes it great. Good enough for government work. That'll do. iMovie, share. Let's get out of there. Let's go down here, select all. iMovie, file, share, file. Narrated project. File name doesn't matter because it's just going on Instagram. Yeah, maybe YouTube, we'll see. So next, see the power of the M1 Mac Mini. Watch how fast it renders, render, done. Okay, and I look at iMovie as a tool, and it's not a place to keep projects. So when I finish, I delete everything. So I hate clutter, and I never go back. So iMovie, quit. Archive.org, quit. Lander, quit. And Synthador says, thank you for watching. Goodbye.